So, Crime Rewind dropped another Gypsy Rose episode, and they appear to be kind of backtracking and putting some disclaimers on the fact that they had Fancy on. Let's hear what they got to say.
Minor mistake on my part with the production of the episode last week, because as I'm chopping it up and figuring out what we need to have in there as I'm listening or watching back the episode, there was an assumption on my part as I'm looking at the whole interview, thinking because Fancy was recommended to us that most people know her backstory, know who she is. So a lot of that didn't get into the episode because we figured, hey, listen, most people already know who she is, and we don't want to make this episode 3 hours. And just to give a little bit more context to that, and this is Fancy's perspective, and we knew this going into it that there was some litigation. The Blanchard sued Fancy and it was dismissed. But the reason why we had her on was because she had firsthand knowledge of her experience with Gypsy Rose and the Blanchards. And that's how she got access to those documents. So we wanted her opinion on it. And I even said at the end of the interview with Fancy that it was clear to me that she does have a bias. There's no doubt about it. They had a relationship, meaning the Blanchards and Fancy. Something clearly didn't go right, and there's bad blood there. There's no doubt about it. But I'm still going to listen to the information she told as far as the medical information that was reported. Maybe not necessarily her opinions on those medical records. She's not an expert, as many of you pointed out. She's not a physician. I'm not relying on Fancy Maselli for the medical.
We're not relying on anybody.
Now, my guess for the reason for all this backpedaling is because the comments show that it's very obvious that people could tell Fancy was extremely biased, that a lot of her information was off, and she just overall wasn't well received. So I think they're trying to explain why exactly they had her on there. So when she gets her book tour back up and going, y'all think Stephanie Harlow is going to show up?